do you want me to try to clarify, but yet be extremely confusing on this? Because
here we go. All right. So we had the caller, and it's a legitimate question and a concern for many people spiritually, and that is when you have vaccines or anything that may or may not have been involved in using fetal tissue from aborted babies. We need to underline that because there appears to be some indication, which you would think of. We know that adult cells have been used and showed some progress, and we do know that there are babies that were not aborted but did not live very long, that they have their families had donated their bodies to science, and so you got to clarify all this, and it's work. You need to put some time into it.
Rick,
so Bubba's going to give you some things we've received in the break, and we probably will confuse you even more.
Okay, let me. I think part of this can be simplified. This was actually on the letterhead of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, and it's about vaccines for COVID-19. There appears to be some confusion in the media regarding the moral permissibility of using the vaccines for COVID-19 developed by Pfizer and Moderna, can't say it right.
Like that over there. See, guy, there's no need to make this a segment. It's organic.
Yeah, we would like to offer some clarifications. Neither one of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines involve the use of cell lines that originated in fetal tissue taken from the body of an aborted baby at any level of design, development, or production. They are completely free from any connection to abortion. However,
easy. See, right then, that seems so clear.
Both companies have made use of a tainted cell line from one of the lab tests of their products. Thus, there is a remote connection, but not direct.
Now give me that second part again. Start it, however, because the first part's kind of clear.
This is from the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops.
Okay, so it's not. It's not from the new Pope, who eventually probably will be okay with this, I'm sure.
However, as both companies have made use of a tainted cell line for one of their lab tests of their products, thus there is a connection, but it is relatively remote. That is their language, not mine.
Like their company, their logo may have been doing this with other products that they work on, but neither one of them have done it with these two vaccines. Do I have that?
That is right. Now, Rick, a lot of this comes from, and I had no idea, I started reading some of this in the break, we actually have cell lines that are grown in the laboratory, but where they came from originally. And a lot of this came from the 1960s, and they were from aborted fetuses back then. But those cell lines are still being used and still grown today, not harvesting new fetuses, but it is being grown from the cells from those from the 1960s.
Okay.
According to this.
But that
and you
bad.
can order different, they can trace it right back. They can tell you the person who gave it and what date it was and all that, and it is still being used today, almost 60, 70 years later.
Okay.
That's wild.
I will say that what you just said, it was not as confusing as you made me be afraid that it was.
Well, it's just how far you dig into it. It, of course, will get more confusing,
Right. Well, and this is
none of us want that. But here's the thing. If you have had mumps, measles, smallpox, all of that, that probably was using some of that.
Well, and that's the thing I think we have to be careful, researching all of this, where it goes. And that's the reason why you got to make decisions that sometimes are not as dogmatic.
Right.
Because you may, as you start walking this thing back, but I think the good news for the caller is it appears these two vaccines that are going to be available from these two companies do not have any of that in the research and the development. So that's your number one question.
Yes.
But then you see the Catholic Church say, now, if you're going to try to do the deal that these companies have never done that, then you may, if you keep following along, it's not that they have some kind of, they have some kind of standard against it in all their research. So that's the thing you had to, and this is the thing where I would caution some of you out there, even though I think that was a great question, and I agree with
great question
with the dilemma. And this is not as important as that decision. But this is where some of you, I try to help you when you get into this world of what I call a shoot, ready, aim, boycott. You have to be really, really careful. I actually had an emailer, nice guy, everything went well. He started out a little bit accusatory, but then he kind of backed it down, which we probably should have started that way to begin with. But that's that thing where somebody will say something real offensive to you, and then you defend yourself like, "Hey man, what you getting on?" Like,
after you run me over, I got tire marks on me.
You basically just said I was unprincipled and a heretic. And now you can't believe that I'm defending myself.
I raised my voice. I'm sorry,
hey man. Whoa! But anyway, this is the thing, and this was the person that was talking about then. And this time of year, a lot of people shop in the store that the Rick and Bubba store. Though every product that we develop comes from American vendors, all the vendors that we use and send us, hey, here's what we charge for this product, here's how we make it. The vendors are American companies, but a lot of some points of their manufacturing, on the product is done overseas. And so the person was, trying to do the, hey, man, and how come y'all not just all American made products from beginning to end? And I asked him what product he had sent me the complaint email on. And buddy, he went silent. So, sir, how did you send this email on what product? American made from top to bottom? Samsung, probably not.
No, that's...
Hey, Samsung, probably not.
South Korea.
Is what he eventually said, and just like, guys, I know, and we use them too, so this is me just shooting straight. I mean, the Apple products that we're all using, come on, man. I mean, so when you start some of these, I'll tell you what, I ain't going to have anything to do with that company because of so-and-so. Well, if you start down that road,
you're going to eliminate a lot of
to
stuff.
stay consistent is difficult. So you have to draw some lines. You say, right here's a line I won't cross. But be careful with some of that. Dexter in Maryland. Dexter, go ahead.
Hey guys, monkey grass.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for the call, buddy. So you're a biochemist.
That's right. Yeah, sorry, I'm walking between buildings right now at NIH, and they're doing some landscape work. Sorry. Yeah, so I want to be clear. I'm not a virologist, so I don't study viruses. I'm in no way working on this vaccine. They actually developed part of the Moderna one here. But I can clarify the difference between like your traditional vaccines and this one that we're getting now with just pure mRNA. So normally they take a virus and they essentially take all the guts out of the virus and just leave the protein that's on the exterior and inject that into your body, and then your body develops immunity to it. So what they've done with the mRNA, so mRNA is actually, most people have heard of DNA, right, which is like deoxyribonucleic acid.
Right.
So the way proteins are made, DNA gets transcribed into RNA, which eventually becomes mRNA, which is called messenger RNA, which encodes for proteins. So what they've done is they've taken the mRNA code of the spike protein from the coronavirus, and they're injecting that into you so that in your body recognizes this mRNA, says, okay, I know what to do with this. I can make protein from this. So your body makes the spike protein, and then your body recognizes that it's a foreign entity and develops the antibodies against it.
Right, which is the point I was making the other day when some people were trying to suggest that if you've had it already, which you do have the RNA, hey, you're turning around, and I know people that are just getting it again, and I'll say, well, then the vaccine's got a problem because that's exactly what the vaccine's doing.
Yeah.
And I've talked to doctors that said the people that they say are getting it twice are either getting a false test on one of them, or they're just about 2 in 10 million.
So, Dexter, back to the original question.
Okay, we need to come back then. Is there more on this?
Well, I was just going to try to get to the bottom line. There's no aborted fetal material being used in these first 2 vaccines.
No, not within the vaccine itself being injected into you. Now, they might have derived some cell lines from that tissue that they tested to make sure it was safe in those cell lines.
Right.
But no, it's not actually within the virus, in the vaccine.
Dexter, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, man. That's a big help.
Rick and Bubba.